On today's Fixing Bugs and Stuff, we're going to look at this old radio. Okay, I picked up this radio at an estate sale. Let's take a look. What kind it is. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. It states that it is a Philco Junior super header dome, I guess, but it's model 81. I've been looking for one of these for a while, and the estate sale I went to, she had one there, and looks like this has never been touched or opened or messed with. Looks like it's in great shape too, as well. Just go over the buttons. There is an 80 version of this that only has the 2 buttons, one top, one bottom. But this is the 81, has the 3. And I believe this is on and off here in volume. I think this may be the tone, and this changes the selection frequency. So I haven't plugged it in. This wire looks kind of scary. I've done these radios before and have created some decent fires. So the safest thing to do is take it off here. Take this whole unit here out, and it comes out by the bottom screws here, these 3. I'm gonna take those out first, and then I'm gonna examine like the capacitors, the diodes, other stuff, the wiring, make sure metal's not on metal. I don't want another fire. So let me grab some tools and I'll show you through the process. Okay, this takes a 3/8 socket. It moved. So I'm just gonna slide it out towards me. I really don't want to grab anything that's gonna mess it up. Oh, you know what? This is dumb, stupid of me. I should take off the knobs on the front of it. Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. But I'm gonna try to take these knobs off. That one came off pretty good. Just add some light so you can see what I'm doing. Let's take this one off. I don't want to break anything. That'll be the worst. I don't want this. Ugh, it just scares me a little bit. I don't want to add any kind of lubricant or anything because I don't want to mess up the wood. Oh, that one came off good. All right, I'm gonna have to try something else. Give me 1 second. Okay, this came out. I had to use both hands. I didn't want to run the camera doing that because I was obstructing the view. You guys couldn't really see me fiddling up in here, so it just pulled straight out. Just be careful not to split the wood here or pull hard. You may have to grab it from the back. Grab it from the back of here. May have to grab it from the back here. Somehow just press down, hold it, so that way it doesn't move, and then just pull it straight out. So now those knobs are out. Let's see what's going on here. I'm gonna pull this out probably by the strongest pieces here. And it comes forward, it'll come right out. Let's see. There we go. Now the rest of this is soldered in here. If you could see it, let's see if you can see it. The rest of this is soldered in here, and I don't want to desolder this. This wire looks kind of brittle, but it's not really bad. Not bad at all. Looking inside, the wood finish looks good. So the best way, I know this is kind of tight in here. So the best way to handle this, turn it to its side. Now we can get a better look. I'm not sure if all this is original. Looks like somebody took this apart. I haven't seen these. I think these are capacitors. It looks like it has been touched before. Somebody had to replace these. I don't think these are correct. Seem kind of large. I'll double check it. I'll double check, make sure. Let's see what else. A little bit of rust here. It might be rust. I don't know what that is. I'll double check all this. But just for fun, we can plug her in without changing anything or touching anything and see what happens. Worst case, start a fire, and I have to get a fire extinguisher. Let me get prepared. Hold on. Okay, so I have my fire extinguisher just in case something happens. And I'm gonna plug this into a surge protector. Right now it's on the off position. So plug this in. And always be careful, wear safety glasses, wear safety goggles. All right, guys, here we go. Nothing. All right, switching that off. All right, since I energize this, capacitors can hold electricity, so you don't want to put your hands in here at all. Let me get my my meter and make sure that the chassis is not showing any power to it. Give me 1 second. Okay, I got my multimeter. I'll just do a real quick continuity check here. Let's see, ground. There's some power here. So that might be a ground. Let's just make sure. See what I'm seeing. Sorry for the shakiness. Sorry. So that may be ground. Another way you can tell is pull out the plug. Try that side. That's neutral or power. Not sure. Not there. That's where the power is coming in. That's what I'm checking. Coming through there. So there was no fire. So I'm kind of curious what's going on. So now that I gave enough time, the capacitor should be lowered. Check that out. That's nothing on that one. Capacitor's nothing on that one. All right, so I think we're safe. But again, I waited about 5-10 minutes between videos, and the capacitor should be fully discharged.
I discovered some numbers on the front of this unit, and it says Ryder, and Ryder is the guy who published a lot of schematics, electronic radio schematics. His name was John F. Ryder. He was a radio engineer, and I believe the numbers here signify the volume or the page number in his books.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is this was off. So I'm gonna put this back in, this plug back in with the switch right now. It is off. It is currently off right now. I'm gonna plug this in and we're gonna try it again. Put it on. Nothing. I'm gonna turn this on. Whoa. I hear something. So it does turn on, but I'm not getting anything out of it. So it could be because I don't have enough antenna here to come through, or it needs to warm up a little bit. So I'll double check everything else. It definitely turns on. I'm gonna look at the schematic, make sure everything's hooked up correctly, and move on to the next thing. It takes maybe 20 to 30 seconds. And I'll grab the antenna. Ah, look. You can hear it. It's working. It's working. Awesome. Shut it off. Next step, we clean it. Make sure all the wires are good. And I will double check the capacitors and look at the schematic. Make sure they're all good. And I'll let you guys know. Now, normally on this kind of stuff, I go in there with a cleaner, a special electronic cleaner, and I clean this all out. However, all the wires look good. They're not brittle. I touched them, moved them around. They look pretty good. Nothing's brittle. I'll get a closer look here. The wires look great. This black around here is from soldering. That's what that's from. You can see the black. So this thing dates back 1931 to 1932. So it's really old, but old, made in America, and it looks great. Looks real good. So the cleaner, what I would use the cleaner on, the electronic cleaner, it would be this electrical cleaner. And then usually you put it on connectors, but I'll definitely clean out these here. These guys here, especially this one. This one's getting kind of nasty looking. I'll clean these little switches here, or pots, whatever you want to call them. Definitely clean that. And then on the top, I might spray the cleaner in there, but I wouldn't spray the wires. I don't know how the wire coating will react. A lot of this stuff is cloth braided, so I wouldn't spray that, but I'll definitely spray everything else. This is just a cover, but in order to take that off, it's a pain. But that'll be the next step. Just right now, we're just cleaning. This wire came off. It seems like it's, I don't know why it came off. It's weird, but it just came off. I'm not sure if it's soldered on here, but I'll solder it back on. And then this is supposed to be on here. So I may have another one of these in my old stack of bulbs and stuff. These tubes, I may have another one of these tubes, but I'm gonna definitely have to fix that. A nice spray here. Make sure these are cold. They're not hot. Make sure they're cooled off, because they'll burst. And what I'm doing here, I'm just spraying it down. The dirt will fall to the base here, and I'll just wipe it up. I'm just taking this apart so I can clean it properly, but gotta do it gently, because I don't want to break any wires off. So I'll put that back. That's to cover. That's to protect that tube. That's what that's for. I mean, you can put it back on without that. Anyway, I'll look at this connection. Looks like the solder joint's fine. Yep, we'll continue on to clean. It really was only dusty. There was not a little bit of, you see a little bit of rust over here in this area here, moisture. But it's not bad at all. I seen these really bad. It's all rusted out. The main thing is this transformer here. You want that transformer to be working for all these components. So that's the key. This guy's got to be working. It seems to be working. It's not cracking or splitting. I know there's power to it. So a lot of times you see that too in this transformer, that it'll start to bubble over, meaning that the transformer is bad. And that's the case. It's bubbling over. Turn it off real quick. You want stuff melting on you. And then take these out. You just a plug. You just pull it right out, just like that. And make sure you put it back the same way. Back the same way you got it out. So that was in there like that. Try to hold it here, not bottom here, because there's little tiny wires in here, and you'll end up twisting those wires and stripping them, or not stripping them, but just shearing them off. So, and clean that one. This one's already separated. So I'll just clean this one. Okay, that's how it goes in, just like that. Just like that. So I'm sure I put them in the same way. That's pretty cool. Has a little Philco on there. Mind you, these parts are like 32 years old. I'm sorry, they're 1932. So they're like 80-some years old. Okay, let's put this back. Grab by the base and wiggle it. Great. Just pick up the C down there, a little bit, hard to see. Okay, clean this off. It looks really good. Goes back there. All right. Clean this guy off. I don't know what this material is here. I would polish it, but I like the nostalgic look. Or patina look. I like it. So this goes through this hole here. Taking this tab here and putting it on top of the tube where it was before. Don't want to press down too hard, but just contact the tube. There we go. And then put this back on. Kind of curious. Okay, we'll get a closer look at this electronics on the bottom. The diodes, that's how they normally look, even that one. That's how they should look. These larger capacitors, I'm not sure about. These look like they've been replaced. I've seen these in other radios from the 70s. Let's see what else in here. Yep, there's evidence of somebody replacing some of the components. I'll show you here. There is a diode that's newer. It's right here. This guy right here. That diode is newer. You can do a comparison to this old diode here. It's much smaller. I've been poking around in here just to make sure the wires are not coming off the solder joints. So that's the best thing you can do. You can make sure it's unplugged. Everything's unplugged first. And just kind of like touch and move around some of the wires. Make sure the solder joints are good and solid. I've been doing that here going along and it's all been fine. All the solder joints look good. So my next step is to solder that cap. Okay, as you can see here, I soldered this cap onto the wire. I also added some insulation going down. I didn't want it to hit this metal piece here, so just add a bit of insulation, some tubing, shrink tubing, just to protect the wire, because I found out that the wire is brittle. Not the wire, but the wire covering, it's made out of cloth. It's very brittle. A lot of this wire gets brittle, but what happens over time, it gets hot, cold, and the elements get to it, so it begins to deteriorate. So I just covered the whole wire, including the cloth, with shrink tubing to protect it. Okay, so since I don't have a 77 Philco tube, I'm gonna have to put this on. Okay, I grind the top of this cap here, the inner circle, that's all soldered there, and I just took a tiny drill bit, drill a hole into it, and I will place it here on the top. See if I can get it just right. Basically center, if you can see it. It's kind of hard to see. Let me focus in. And you can see the wire hitting up against the cap. So what I'll do is I'll just solder that closed and the tube should work. Okay, I soldered it on the top there. As you can see, it's a little bit of blob. It's not too tall. So what's next is I'll put this cap on here and it should go on just fine. Yep, that was pretty easy to do. Like I said, that was all filled with solder on the top. And next thing to do, we'll turn it on. Okay, we turn it on. Give it a few seconds for it to warm up. So I'm in the basement, so me being in the basement, it's not gonna have a lot of reception down here. It's hard for me to get cell phone reception down here. So if I take this upstairs, I should get better reception, but it's working. Okay, just want to show you before I clean. I'm gonna use this pledge stuff. It's restoring oil. It's meant to clean and restore wood. So this is what I'm gonna use. And then I figured I would go through what's internal here. If you can see it, Philco at the top. I can get in there. That's the tag that's in there, so you can see. And then this is the speaker here. I'm not sure, that's some kind of an amplifier that's hooked up to there. And then from there it goes to the speaker. So just want to show you before I clean it out, and I'll show you the results afterwards. Okay, end up using the Pledge, the old cleaner. It's also a cleaner and conditioner. As you can see in here, looks pretty good. You don't want to put too much in here. You don't want it to be too oily. You just want enough so the wood can soak it in, so it doesn't dry out. Definitely don't put it on the tag here, because you'll ruin it. Also, do not spray onto the speaker. I used a fiber rag to put it on. That way I'm not leaving a bunch of dust behind, you can see. So next step is putting it all together and then cleaning some more. Okay, let's start putting it back together. The best way to do it is stand on its side. Of course, slide that in first, then put it on its side, and then put these bolts in. Okay, everything's mounted in. Now it's time to clean the top of it. Okay, she's all nice and polished, looking great. I polished the sides, using Revive It from Pledge. It worked out pretty good. I'll give you a better view of it here on the front. All looks good. Yeah, looks real good. Polished it. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice radio. So next thing I'm doing, I'm gonna take it upstairs and see if I can find some stations and see how well it works. Okay, everyone, this is the final product. You can see my other radio here. I rebuilt this radio before a while ago, and the cat's got to the material there, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But that radio runs great. I can do a video on that if you guys want to. Just leave it in the comments. And here is the new one, looking great. So we're gonna turn her on first. That looks sweet, looks good. Takes about 20-30 seconds. Well, I'm not getting strong signal up here, and I'm getting slight stuff, nothing strong. So I finally added an antenna, better reception. We'll see how it goes. Give it a second.
Is that how you approach your job? And they say no. Do you believe that to be true, that this is fundamentally an election official job and secondarily a partisan position? Out of the way
Anyway,
and try to foster conditions that allow people to succeed.
like, comment, and share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.